Susu, and welcome to my channel. My name is Haley, or as the channel name suggests, Bobus. We are here today doing Generation 4 of Little Simsie's, what does she call it? Not So Berry Legacy Challenge. We are doing the Generation Gray, and just to read you a little bit of what Generation 4 includes. Generation 4 Gray, you always felt that you were different. While the rest of your family was busy messing around in the lab, you just wanted to be outside playing basketball. You're very good at sports, and you dream of becoming a professional athlete. To make up for your non-existent relationship with your parents, you want to be there for your own children as much as possible. Oh, and you love to sing. Your traits are active, slob, and music lover. Your aspiration is bodybuilder, and your career will be athlete. The rules to this generation is that you must master singing, parenting, and the athletic skills. You must master the athlete career and complete the bodybuilder aspiration. You must have 3 failed relationships before finding a spouse and marrying a neat sim. You must be good friends with all of your children. And you must have a movie night with your spouse and children every Sunday. So all of these characteristics to your sim is kind of what led me to make this house what it is. Now, all of my generations are more along the lines of a tiny house. Now, it may not qualify for the Sims tiny house because I do like to put porches and sometimes the roof, like the extra trimming around the where the roof and the walls meet. So sometimes that requires you to build another floor. So in the Sims terms of what a tiny house is, it's not accurate, but to me this is a very small house. You kind of have things compact. And I wanted it to be a little bit more modern. When I think gray, I think something that's more modern. And so we're starting off with a very, I did myself dirty, okay? I put half of this house on an angle. So the angled section, I made a living room, and that's what we're getting to now. We are using the platforms, and this is a video that I actually did quite a while ago, and I am just now getting to finally sit down at my computer desk and look through all the previous video files that I have. And getting around to actually doing some of them. And this is the one that I'm starting with because I am most excited about this. Now, I do have half of the plum generation finished, so maybe I'll get around to finishing that today and doing a voiceover tomorrow. Who knows? And that'll be out in the next couple of days. Hopefully. And cross our fingers. We shall see. We are doing the outline now, which is very odd, to say the least, because again, I will say I did myself dirty and put part of this lot on an angle, and it turns out amazingly cool in my eyes, and hopefully in your eyes if you're watching this. But the only problem I have with it is that some of the rooms have to be cut off, and so you're wasting some of this space. So right here we are deciding how we want to do the living room. Now this all kind of sort of changes as we go. We end up adding an office in, and we end up adding on the top floor a little mini gym. Realistically, I don't think your gym would be on the very top floor, but it's a Sims. Who cares? You're not going to have any noise issues with this. But because you're supposed to have movie nights with your spouse and children every Sunday, I wanted the living room to feel something that you would enjoy sitting in. So that is what we did. We have a really nice console table right underneath the TV. We have the biggest wall TV other than like the movie hangout TVs and stuff like that. So just like an average size but big TV for the wall. I did want it to feel a little cozy, which is why we added the fireplace. It adds just a little bit of coziness, but still keeps on that dark charcoaly gray, to me, charcoaly gray colored theme that we're going with. So I did end up taking some liberties and obviously adding whites and blacks. I don't think this house has any any color. I think it's legitimately just like black, white, and gray. I think I have a couple of things in the kitchen that are copper, kind of like the fireplace has like the little copper bronze like handles and stuff like that. So I kind of leaned into that a little bit better. Obviously some, like this console table right here that we're looking at, it has the brown legs, but it's all very neutralized. There's not like any bold, bright patterns that you're looking for. Specifically, we just kind of stuck with essentially a blank palette, but you could always download this and change the colors if you happen to like the layout and stuff. And I'm sorry if you heard my chair, I'm sure you did. Had to readjust myself in my seat. So right here we're just choosing artwork to put, and most of this stuff was like a first time put down. I'm gonna keep it. I didn't really go back and change a whole lot. You'll see me move that back over. Right here we're putting in the stairs. This is where I really just hated myself, because the awkward spot that you have to put the stairs in, then you're cutting off part of the room, and then you're gonna end up cutting off part of the gym room, which was a whole other situation. But we did end up adding a little extra space to the bathroom, and since there's only one bathroom here, this is supposed to be like your starter house for your gray sim. So he doesn't have kids, he doesn't have a spouse yet. This is for the potential where you get married and you have your first baby. We do put a what are they called? Why is my brain blanking? Not a cradle. I'm sure y'all are screaming at me if you knew what I was talking about. Not a cradle, a baby crib, like the newborn cribs in the master bedroom. But this is meant to be built on top of, or, you know, replaced with a very much bigger gray colored house for when your sim is actually married and has multiple children. But I think because you have that dream to be, you know, you want to have that bond with your children, I went ahead and made this sim specifically someone that dreams of having a child. I imagine this sim specifically to be a male that is very family oriented. So in my mind, he has this dream, you know, baby. Why did I lose the name again? I'm just having a day, guys. Apparently I don't know the words for anything, so bear with me. But it has a very roomy kitchen, a really tight office, because I don't know really what you're going to be using the office for other than, you know, buying the books or learning parenting skills and stuff like that. I imagine that this sim specifically goes and like looks at online blogs for how to parent, and has a lot of parenting books, and just really leans into that wanting to be better for my children kind of aspect. And so I really wanted that to kind of be slightly more portrayed in this, where family is something that they like, which is why the bedroom is really small, but the living areas are a place that you entertain and sit with your family in. So that's kind of how I was viewing this whole thing when I was making this. Bathroom really small, really simple. Obviously, when you have a baby, at some point you're going to end up needing to have a bathtub. You can end up taking that whole sink countertop out and just putting a 2-in-1 shower bathtub combo in that back corner, because it will fit one, and putting just a sink next to the toilet. You know, you can rotate this and play with this a little bit out how you want to. This is just how I wanted to start it out with. I'm thinking bachelor with future dreams of being a dad, and so it's something, you know, that you're going to see a lot of. Right now the office is open. We will go back and close that in, but right here we are actually working on the doorway. So this is the doorway into the back patio. We're going to have a grill out there. There's going to be I'm not going to call it a small pool, but a pool is something that I imagine an athlete kind of wants to have, so they can end up working out without causing a lot of stress to the joints. I know for me, I hate working out, but I enjoy swimming, so it makes working out fun. Excuse me while I took a drink. Talking even for 10 minutes straight becomes stressful on your saliva glands, I guess. I don't know. Either way, long speeches equals you need water. So, and we still got quite a few more minutes to go here. So we are ending up where I debated an island. I really did. I personally really love them. It just didn't work out with the layout. So we're gonna put this in, and I am 98% sure I take this out, because when I was looking through this, I didn't see this in the end photos. We kind of pretty much leave this whole layout the same, except for the island. Everything kind of gets pushed more in. The kitchen table turns into the quote-unquote island. Right here we are actually putting in our workout equipment, and this room does not change. I put the, I would consider this the arm, like, workout station, the treadmill, and the yoga mat in front of the window there, and then we add a couple of, like, decorations on the wall that, of that little triangle room that we're not actually utilizing. If you guys have any idea on how to make that nice, go for it. I just didn't have any idea on how to use it. And now that I'm realizing, I have realized that I actually don't play with the grid on anymore when I build. I see why some people hate seeing the grid on when people build. Occasionally I'll turn it on for my OCD-ness, so I'll turn it on to make sure everything's like in line, but then I'll end up going back and like just turning it right back off. Because to me it's more realistic when you don't see grid lines, and it's just, it makes things look a whole lot better, not so much in perfect place, which is something that I really enjoyed about how I build now versus how I used to. It's crazy how much you realize you change your building styles in just, you know, a couple of months. But here's that, sorry, apparently I can't catch my breath. Here's that, like, bronzy copper stuff that I was talking about, the pans that are hanging. I also did the sink as the bronze-ish copper color. And here we are deciding to finally add the pool. I didn't do anything special with the pool. I painted it like a darker blue and then put like the ladder steps to get out. But other than that, the pool's pretty plain. Kind of looks more like a lap pool, doesn't it? It's not super wide, but we'll see how that turns out. For some reason, it was really bugging me with how the default was on this floor cover, so we went ahead and changed that to line it up. We do have outdoor seating. We have a little heater. We do end up getting a swing set out, which is very nice. We have an outdoor trash can. We have an indoor trash can. Pinky promise it gets put in there. If you haven't seen it yet, I can't remember when I put it in. I think I do it after I mess with the outside a little bit. I have a really bad habit of like bebopping between inside, outside, because I get bored of doing one thing all at once. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's some distinct part of ADHD. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I wish I could tell you. But so right here, I really heavily debated what wallpaper I was going to use, and so I sped this up a lot, and that's why it looks a little odd. But I ended up using a shiplap that is gray, because who doesn't love a shiplap? It is legitimately the best thing that I can imagine. So, back to the kitchen as always. The bebopping will never cease to end. We decided on doing the same thing. I debated the wallpaper in the kitchen, and now we are finally putting the cabinets up. I ended up really liking this kitchen. I know that, I think I did this kitchen actually right after they updated these cabinets. Man, that came out of nowhere. Right after I did these cabinets is when I was doing this. So, new swatches. We finally got the nice light swatches and all the different colored browns, and it was just wonderful. So I decided to use these as inspiration since we got that color. Now we are back into the bedroom, and The bedroom doesn't really change a whole lot. It's really interesting to see how everything plays out, though. The closet guy, the armoire, whatever you want to call it, dresser, is going to be moved. Just kind of doing some last minute touches, making sure I like what patterns and stuff I'm using on the floors and the walls, and all the excess finishing touches is what we're working on. We end up putting some columns up right here. I end up putting a fence up and a couple of rocking chairs. I guess that's the southern person in me that wants to put rocking chairs on the front porch, even though it's not like a full front porch. So now we're finally just putting the last minute placement of windows. I try to have a lot of fun with windows for the most part, but sometimes it just makes it difficult on modern builds to mess with them too much. But we did this picturesque like 4-square window. I think the upstairs windows are kind of how they are going to be. And all the other windows I think are, hiccup, in place. Man, this is the worst voiceover that I think I have done. And I am so sorry. So, again, I stated that we were going to put artwork up here, and this is where that goes. We end up putting a mirror on the wall as well up there. I just kind of copy and paste it from was it the bedroom that I had that in? And then, do I do anything else? I don't think I do anything else up here. I think that is like done. And then here we are going to finally do some landscaping for the backyard and putting in our grill that I mentioned earlier. What else do we do? Because there's a lot of things that I bounce between. And oh right, we put a snowboard holder on that back wall as well. Here I am moving the armoire over. There's the swing set that I mentioned earlier. And then the little heater. I wish I had one of these in real life, like the little gas heater things for outside, because I like to spend time outside. But sometimes it just gets too cold. And there is the baby, I'm going to call it baby cradle, because that's what comes to mind. So we end up putting the baby cradle back in there, because I accidentally deleted it, changing the stairs down a little bit. And then here's the office section. I wanted to add a little bit of space for the stairs to be able to step into, so that's what I was fixing there. You can see the island countertop has been removed, and then the kitchen table is in its place, and we took a couple of chairs out. I mentioned you didn't need the full set of chairs just because it's such a small house. It would just overload it. So we're having our little Alexa guy. I put some speakers around the house because I like listening to music when I work out. Very minimally do I work out, but when I do work out, I like listening to music. Plus, because this sim is a music lover, it made sense to have that in there. We're putting our little Roomba or Shark or whatever you want to call it. It's just the vacuum cleaner that auto does it. We have the clutter finally making its way in. Clutter sections are kind of hit and miss because I don't clutter as I go like some other simmers do. I kind of clutter at the end once I realize where everything else is going to go. Sometimes I'll put little bits and pieces of clutter in as I want to. Unfortunately, in my brain, again, because this house is so small, I can only fit is that a 2 or a 3 person couch? I can't remember. I think it's 3. I want to say it's a 3 person couch. So, you know, you could have a friend over, your spouse, or the person that you're supposed to have a failed relationship with is spending time trying to do the Sunday thing, and then that fails, or whatever you want to do with it. There is this snowboarding rack, and I love this item so much. The little fireplace, like pokers and stuff. Best item, most realistic. Not legitimately best item, but you know what I mean. Best updated into the game item. That was free. I'm switching out lights as well, if you couldn't tell, because I'll use the saucer, like the small saucer lights, for like the whole build, and then I will sometimes forget to actually change out for actual lights. But I did do it in this one. I did trade out my lights. We're putting some barbecue sauce and stuff like that. The only thing is I couldn't get it to fit, so I decided not to. I love these drafts too from the It's the Maximalist kit? I think it's the Maximalist kit. Love the drafts. Now we're getting on to the landscaping. This little landscaping, like pod, I'm going to call it pod. I don't know what you actually want to call it. I loved doing this, but I legitimately hate. hate, double hate. Anybody can tell me where that's from? Doing the outlines on this. Just because so many little pieces get put into it, and some people love it. Some people love like the nitty gritty. Me, I wish there was just like a fence type that we could just draw on there. It would automatically place it. That'd be great. But unfortunately there is not. But we're going to put some of the OG low-lying pale yellow flowers in there. We're going to throw some rocks in. It's going to be all fun and dandy. We are finally putting our fence railing on so it's not a dangerous little porch. And unfortunately you're going to have to walk around the house a little bit to get to the front door, but at least it makes your Sims auto path in the correct direction that you want them to. I forgot I added the Island Living like purple flowers. That is probably the only like color. I said it in quotation marks like you could see me. Color. That is within this house is the purple. And I did that because your next generation is plum. So I thought it would be really fun to incorporate your children's next color generation into it. It was a very interesting aspect that I thought some other people might enjoy. I enjoyed it. So I thought y'all guys might as well. Eco Lifestyle, I think, right? Those boards? Yes. These things are my favorite. I love them because they add so much texture and detail without being like overbearing. Although I do wish we had like some for like roof hips that you could put onto the roof so you didn't have it mess up if you lifted it or lowered it. Here I am coloring the pool just a darker blue color, and here are rocking chairs. Beautiful, love them. I thought about putting something else out on the front porch, but I just didn't. And unfortunately I wasn't able to put the microphone on there, but y'all guys can go to a karaoke bar and have fun there. Anyways, I hope you guys love the screenshots and you have a wonderful day. Bye everybody.